Hey, thanks for checking out Fun Time Travel. So normally on Mondays we kind of do some sort of cruise update, either for a cruise line or stuff that's going on with cruising. But as skimming through just the various things that are going on, I saw an article that made us think about cruise health and safety. It's a topic that's come up a lot lately, and we wanted to talk about it. I mean, the real question I think that folks have been asking off and on for the last several years is cruising safe? So let's check it out. Okay, so it's been nearly 2 years since the restart, actually just over. And about a year since the CDC relaxed the COVID protocols for cruise ships. In fact, I think we were on one of the last cruises before COVID shut down, and we were on one of the first cruises after COVID shut down, and then we were on, I think, the last cruise when the COVID protocols were in place. So we've been dancing around this for a long time. We had a story a couple weeks ago that Australia was finally relaxing their protocols. And then a week ago, there was a story, someone was calling for Carnival to reenact the COVID protocols. So, it just kind of seems like health is at the top of mind right now.
Let's start off by saying this is our opinion that cruising is safe.
Right.
We're not trying to push anything on anybody else, but at least as safe as anything else that you can do outside of your home.
Right.
We hope by the time, that we're done with the video that you'll agree, but that's your opinion.
Come to your own conclusion.
Yeah. We love the cruise lines have hand washing stations and hand sanitizer available all over the ship, not just in bathrooms.
Yeah.
And regular hand washing is recommended to help prevent COVID.
It can prevent other health concerns like the cold, the flu, or the norovirus. And in case you don't know, norovirus was really one of the big things prior to COVID that was the main concern for folks. It's a gastrointestinal thing. It's kind of like flu, like the stomach flu, but on a much bigger scale. And it can actually become an outbreak on cruise ships. And that was always a big concern. As a result of norovirus outbreaks in years past, all cruise ships have had to follow the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program, or what they call VSP for short. That was put in after many, many years ago after outbreaks of norovirus.
Yeah.
And every cruise ship that sails from a U.S. port must submit, every cruise line I should say, must submit to 2 surprise inspections every year as a part of the VSP.
Now these inspections check nearly everything. The medical facilities, the dining rooms, galleys, the children's area, pools and spas, and even water on board. Depending on the size of the ship, anywhere from 2 to 5 inspectors will come aboard and do these inspections. And it can take anywhere from 6 to 8 hours for these inspectors to go through the ship and check out everything. And each ship is scored on a scale from 0 to 100, and the ship must get an 86 or above to pass.
Wow, that's high. Like when I was playing basketball in high school, you just had to have a 60 or better, and you could play. So they're playing on a whole different scale. Which, when health and safety is concerned, I guess that's a good idea.
Yes, it's a very good idea.
They can't go and do extra credit like to get on the court.
No. And I wouldn't want them to get a lower score and be okay, because then you're just playing Russian roulette with the rest of us getting sick all the time.
Now, on that note, a failure doesn't mean that they're automatically not allowed to sail. If a ship fails an inspection badly enough, it can be given a no-sail recommendation. But, that's not always the case. And then on the other side, depending on the severity of the violation, they may be told to not sail at all, period. Like they get a no-sail order. But the ship, in some cases, might be able to correct a problem right away. Like they go by and they're like, you need to do this.
Right.
And they can fix it right away. Now, minor infractions, even if they correct them right away, those minor infractions will be noted, and then they'll be re-inspected at a later date.
Right. Things that might keep a ship from sailing are stuff like poor chlorination in pools and whirlpools.
Wow.
I don't know why whirl was hard, but whatever. Failing to keep food within safe temperatures. Also, inadequate facilities for cleaning and sanitizing food equipment. And an inability to properly dispose of solid or liquid waste. And another big one that could cause a no-sail order would be during like a major disease outbreak. Like, I don't know what that could be.
COVID? So part of the reason that we brought this up, it got us thinking about the sanitation program and so on, is because we just found out that NCL had 2 ships get perfect scores on back-to-back days. So yeah, good for you. Makes me more excited to sail on Norwegian, right?
I know.
The CDC inspected the Norwegian Bliss and the Norwegian Sun in July on back-to-back days, on a Friday and a Saturday, and they both received scores of 100. The CDC also inspected the NCL Pearl in March, and then the NCL Joy in April, and they both got perfect scores. And I think it's kind of impressive that Norwegian has gotten scores of 100 on 4 consecutive surprise inspections.
Yeah.
And again, these really are, they're just, the CDC shows up and they have to let them get on board. If they don't allow them to get on board, then the ship's not sailing.
Right. Now, based on our reviews of the inspection results, it seems that the cruise lines are doing a relatively good job on the health front. In fact, there have been 29 perfect scores across all cruise lines since the cruise restart. That's pretty good.
Right.
And the majority of the scores are all in the upper 90s. So, way to go. Keep it going, guys.
I think there were a couple hundred inspection results that I kind of reviewed. Yeah. And, like we say, most of them were in the upper 90s, and 29 perfect scores out of, say, 200 that's pretty good.
It is pretty good. Now, we'll put a link to the page of, on the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program website, where you can search the scores if you're interested in looking, like, maybe at a specific ship that you're going to be cruising on.
Yeah. We did the same thing. I checked it out, and the Encore we'll be sailing on in February. I think it got a 98 or something, so I'm happy with that.
Maybe they'll get another surprise inspection before then. It'll be 100.
Yeah. Hey, would you like this video? Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future updates. We're so thankful that you watch our videos, and we're so thankful that you share them with others. And if you're getting ready to cruise and you're looking for some fun stuff to take on your cruise, make it easier or whatever, check out our Amazon shop. There's a link in the description below. So thanks a lot. Okay, so aside from health concerns and things, obviously the follow-on to COVID and so on, the last year or so has kind of highlighted another issue that may be a concern for some, and being out and about and talking about cruising with people, it's something that's come up from time to time. And we're talking about these video clips that we've probably all seen that are floating around the internet of fights on board cruise ships. Now, some people blame, Carnival because they're the quote-unquote Walmart of cruising. Some people, they blame, they say it's because it's short 3- and 4-day cruises, too much drinking, this and that and the other. They've been on a variety of ships, anywhere, Carnival, Norwegian, Royal Caribbean, MSC. It's been on a number of ships, but they always get a ton of attention. But in our opinion, we think they're probably relatively few and far between when you consider the number of cruises, the number of cruisers, and how often these things kind of pop up.
Yeah. We also suspect that it's very likely that there has always been fights and minor incidents on board the ships that we likely have never heard about. I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
The last 10 to 15 years has put a camera phone in everybody's hand. Yeah. Plus, people on cruise ships now have easy access to high-speed internet, so we can get immediate footage of everything all the time. I can live stream it. Yeah, well, yeah. We'd wager that fights happened on ships long before any of us had a phone in our hand.
Technology aside, videos of people behaving badly has really put a spotlight on the cruise lines, right?
Yeah.
And the cruise lines have, I think, reacted very well. They've hired more security. They make them much more visible. On our last few cruises, we regularly saw security officers roaming the ship. Mm-hmm. In fact, Carnival has made a big show of, and I don't mean this like they're doing it for show, but I mean they made a big show of the fact that they have drug-sniffing dogs because, there have been some accusations that maybe people sneaking, illicit drugs on board might be attributing to
some of the mishaps.
But they want to keep contraband off these ships, and most of the cruise lines have made changes to their code of conduct to raise penalties for bad behavior. Carnival has said that they'll charge you $500 if you get into a fight on board, up to even kicking you off the cruise line for good.
Yeah. Another thing many cruise lines are doing is they are sending pre-cruise emails to remind cruisers about the code of conduct on board, which I think is a very good idea. All said, we feel that cruising is safe. and we can't wait to get on our next cruise. We're like counting down the days, you know. And you have to assess your own situation and decide what's best for you. You know, always pay attention to your surroundings and what's going on and do what you feel is in your best interest, you know. But we can't wait to see you on board.
You know, I mean, when it comes to health, watch what's going on around you. When it comes to violence or whatever's going on, you know, my dad always used to tell me, watch your business. Like, always keep your eyes open, see what's going on wherever you're at. And that includes, we didn't even comment on this, but the ports, for the most part, as long as you're in common, you know, public areas, you're not going down an alleyway or something, I think almost all of these ports are relatively safe. Now, there's some you got to use good judgment where you're not going to go out in, you know, some ports.
Some ports you can only do like the
just do the excursions through the cruise line or whatever. Yeah, be wise. Have you seen bad behavior on a ship? Tell us in the comments below. Speaking of behavior, we're going to put a link here to a video that we did about things that could get you kicked off a ship. So check it out. We've seen people get too drunk. Some of them have been a little too, let's say, romantic in public. But we've never seen a fight, and we sure hope we never do. So let us know your experience. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.